Cocomelon, the most evil channel on YouTube. Hold on, I'm gonna
The most
click on
evil
the video.
channel on.
My son
What?
is almost letting him watch Cocomelon, but now I had to get him speech therapy so I can get him to talk. There are hundreds and
Hetsu is
hundreds of
superior.
anecdotes in which parents mention the exact same problem. The Cocomelon show is so insanely addictive, it's being compared to nicotine and causing developmental
So yeah, Cocomelon shit. My 4-year-old daughter watches shit, and my fucking mom always puts it on for her, and I don't like it. Cause I always tell her, I'm like, yo, this shit's brain rot. This shit's like the constant music and the background and like the scenes, and she loved it for so long. But I told my baby mom, I was like, do not play that shit. Like that shit's bad for her. And mom was like, it's alright. They used to always say something bad for you. Like, look, this is proof in the pudding right here. I'm about to watch this shit though.
issues amongst the kids who can't stop watching. Children's TV.
I got my daughter off that shit, and she can't watch Blippi. I don't like Blippi either.
The expert Jerica Sands calls it the most damaging show a child can watch, explaining the sneaky ways in which they make the show addictive. Firstly, there's the colors. Take for example the wheels on the bus.
It's very primary color esque. You know, they use all primary colors, no other very basic animation.
Colors blue, green, and yellow are all at maximum saturation, meaning they cannot be made any brighter, no matter how hard you try. Extreme saturation is normally used for alerts and notifications, as it's exciting, dynamic, and attracts attention, which is why it's also used in slot machines.
Gambling.
Cocomelon puts these colors in perfect contrast, making them appear even more vibrant, which is different to, for example, Bluey, in which the colors instead blend together. Cocomelon's also different because it's highly repetitive. There's a reason they have 38 videos with over 1 billion views. A child's brain is wired to learn through repetition, so it feels right to them to watch the same thing over and over again. Cocomelon abuses this in almost every video. For example, in the Yes Yes Playground song, they pick a word to repeat 3 times in every sentence, pairing it with a subtly repeating background lullaby, keeping children hooked. Literally no show or movie puts my son into a deep trance the way Cocomelon does. The second it's on the TV, he turns into a toddler zombie who doesn't see or hear anything else that's going on in the room. This is only exacerbated by Cocomelon's subtitles, which have also been a heavy point of criticism. The letters are not educational, I can barely read them fast enough. It's simply another interesting element to capture your little one's attention. Cocomelon explains in every description, our goal is to help make learning a fun and enjoyable experience.
It's not a learning show, it's a brain rot show. I hate this kind of shit, shit art, is that what you're saying? Fucking art or style, whatever. Animation style, it's horrible, bro. It's fucking, it's horrible, man.
Experience for kids, giving you
I don't like
peace
it either.
of mind that your children are receiving quality educational
It's like, what
content.
the fuck?
But people have argued that they're teaching exactly what children shouldn't do. For example, in the No No Bedtime song,
the brain rot CGI with the giant googly eyes,
have a bath, put on pajamas, or get in bed. The education is that he eventually agrees to do so.
I turn that shit off. It's whenever I drop her off from my mom's house, as soon as I pick her up, bro, I'm like, turn that shit off. I'm like, you can't watch that no more. I'm like, I don't care. She could cry, fuss about it. I'm like, nope. You can watch SpongeBob. Or like fucking, right now she's into Ninja Turtles, which is kind of fucking cool actually. And she's into Sonic the Hedgehog. She loves Sonic the Hedgehog, the old school Sonic the Hedgehog show, like from the 90s. She loves that shit. And like, I got on that 90s shit. She likes Cat Dog as well, you know.
Yet a TikTok user was critical, stating,
trying to get her into Angry Beavers or Ren and Stimpy.
Do a simple task, he'd say no.
Ren and Stimpy's kind of bad.
He's sitting there watching Cocomelon, which taught him no, 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 and just say no to me. On the topic of education, Jerica Sands stated, these people don't give a shit about our children. They care about money. That's it. Your child's cognitive development in direct exchange for their wealth, and there's pretty good evidence supporting this. A New York Times journalist visited Cocomelon's studio, discovering their #1 focus is keeping children hooked. Cocomelon's data and analytics team sifts constantly through YouTube numbers to determine exactly what resonates. Should a girl wear black jeans or blue jeans? Should the music be louder or softer? Should the bus be yellow or red? Yellow is the answer, as they use a darker method to ensure that they're correct. Cocomelon has a dedicated Distractatron room, in which once a month children are brought here one at a time and shown a handful of episodes to figure out exactly which parts of the shows are engaging and which are tuned out.
What? Oh, hell no. Hell to the no. I am never, I mean, I already don't let her watch that shit, but fuck no now. Fuck that.
Next to the TV playing Cocomelon, there's a second screen which plays a continuous loop of banal real-world scenes. A guy pouring a cup of coffee, someone getting a haircut.
This should be illegal. This should be fucking illegal, bro.
Each lasting about
this should
20
be goddamn
seconds.
Illegal.
Whenever a youngster looks away from the Moonbug show to glimpse the Distractotron, a note is jotted down. We can see what they're looking at and the exact moment when they got distracted.
We don't want them to look away.
Therefore, education clearly isn't the primary
Kill the new
goal.
generation.
Keeping kids' attention is, and this is proven by Cocomelon's most addictive element.
I feel like this is a CIA psyop, bro. This shit was made by the CIA.
Rapid camera cutting. It's crazy how many times the frame changes on Cocomelon. It's the same type of addicting behavior that we experience on a TikTok binge. It's the quick change of frame that releases that dopamine and makes the videos addicting to watch. Count the seconds between a change of frame. Well, TikToker the Circus Brain did exactly this. He firstly counts the changes on My Little Pony, concluding there's about 6 seconds between each cut. He then compares it to Cocomelon.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3,
Constant
1,
scene cut.
2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1.
Constantly.
In her video, The Nightmare That Is Cocomelon, Savantix draws a similar conclusion. She found that 96% of the shots in Baby Shark were shorter than 2 seconds. She then compares 4 different animated shows.
Baby Shark is just as bad as Cocomelon.
Again, finding Cocomelon has the shorter shots.
The longest shot on the Cocomelon video was 6 seconds. The longest shot on Arcane was 8 seconds. The longest shot on Bluey was 27 seconds. And
Bluey
the longest
is
shot
great because it's slow paced.
on Encanto was 18 seconds.
Which, when combined with every other element, creates some terrifying statistics. Dr. Kristen Summer explained that when showing an infant normal video content, they'll focus on the screen just 11% of the time. However, when the video is instead switched to Cocomelon, their screen engagement skyrockets to a whopping 74%. This therefore produces stories such as
That's not good.
I used to volunteer for a preschool and they had song
That's
time.
not good.
A Cocomelon.
I have children someday. Or you'll have children someday. I'll show them some old cartoons. Yeah, that's what I do. Some old cartoons. Like the ancient Disney stuff. Yup. Some anime. And shit like first 3 seconds of SpongeBob and Avatar and some of the... Oh, 3 seasons. Yeah, 3 seasons of SpongeBob. Yeah, and some of the Avatar cartoons. But not the new one with the non-binary shit and bullshit. Yeah, I don't like that shit either. Brainwash bullshit ass trash pseudo woke phone out rainbow motherfucking On God though, I try to like monitor what she watches a lot. Like she loves the Paramount app, which is great because it has a lot of the old Nickelodeon stuff on it. So she watches Fairly Odd Parents and stuff like that. Shit that I grew up on. She watches a lot of that stuff, which is good. And so like there's like shows like when she gets hyper addicted to a show, I don't like it. So I turn that shit off. If she doesn't listen, I say you can't watch that no more. You're not allowed. And if I catch you watching it, I'll take your tablet away. She's addicted to the tablet. That's another battle I gotta face one day. But like, you know, I take her to the park and let her play with outside and stuff like that. So that's also good. But yeah, the whole fucking addiction to like, if she's like locked in, I'm like saying her name and she's like not responding. Fuck all that, bro.
Video came on and all of the tots stopped what they were doing, put down their cheese crackers and remained fixated on the screen for the duration of the video. It was honestly kind of terrifying.
Yeah,
YouTuber Saberspark shared his own personal anecdote. He asked to watch a Disney movie with his 2 younger cousins, who both completely refused and instead spent all day glued to an iPad playing the addictive show.
It's either that or go to bed. That's what I tell my motherfucking daughter. We gonna watch this movie, or you can go to sleep and take a nap. Because we have a relaxation time. You've been up bouncing off the walls, watch a movie with daddy, or we gonna take a nap, lay down and take a nap. Cause I'll do the nap too. And motherfucker, I need a nap. You know what I'm saying?
In Cocomelon Made
Yeah,
My
we
Kid
could
a
do one of the
Zombie,
two.
A mother talks about her son. He would be
Like I could fuck with SpongeBob. I watch SpongeBob with her, you know what I'm saying? And so, I ain't gonna lie, like, I be watching Rick and Morty and she'll watch that shit with me too. And I don't care. If it's animated, I'm not tripping, you know? And she doesn't even know what half the shit in Rick and Morty even is or what they're talking about, so it's not even a big deal. And she knows about not cussing, so, like, that's the thing too.
days while watching it. You could be waving your hand right in front of his face and he wouldn't move. It was almost scary.
Tablet detox them kids and block fucking Cocomelon. Delete that shit off their fucking tablet.
This was also discovered by Sarah Mills 98, who explained when the Cocomelon addiction is so real that my 1-year-old can navigate the TV to turn it on by himself. However,
What? My daughter doesn't even know how to do that, and she's fucking 4.
Nothing shows the addiction better than the Cocomelon TikTok trend. Parents will play the show's intro loudly and video their kids sprinting toward the television, where you can witness their mood change instantly. The New York Times journalist found something similar. The kid in the Distractotron had shown up in the midst of a tantrum, which ended the second he heard the Cocomelon theme song. It was no surprise to Wheeler, the head of research. 99% of kids, he said, if they're having issues when they get here, once that Cocomelon song comes on, they're like, life is okay, all is good with the world. Obviously, there's a reason for this. Cocomelon is so hyper-stimulating that it actually acts as a drug.
Once you have a kid, bro, they'll find it. And like when you're parenting and stuff like that, man, and like you can't be lazy, bro. And that's the one thing, man, that I've learned. Like it's so easy when you're like, you know, you work a full-time job and you get home and you gotta fucking, you know, cook dinner for your kid and then like spend time with them, and you want time for yourself and stuff like that. I get that, but like that's the one thing you gotta learn is that like you gotta like I put in it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I put on overtime hours just so I can get my gaming. I barely sleep, you know what I'm saying? Luckily I work in the evening, you know what I'm saying? So like I'm usually gone most of the day, but like still, you know what I'm saying? Like I get about 4 or 5 hours of sleep at night just because I'm grinding out, you know, the live stream shit. And then also, too, I work a full-time job, and then I got my daughter. I get her, like, every other week. So it's like, I make it fucking work. That's why sometimes I don't stream for a while because I'm just, like, so exhausted and, like, doing other shit, too. But, like, yeah, bro. It's so easy to want to just put on Cocomelon and have them, like, veg out in front of the TV while you can, like, do other stuff. Because they won't fucking move. They won't even want to eat, bro. They'll be like, I'm not hungry. You're thirsty? No, I'm not thirsty. Like and then like, so you turn it off, they cry, throw a tantrum, and they don't want to go to sleep. They want to watch more Cocomelon. Like, I'm smarter than all that shit. I knew this as soon as I seen that shit. I said, this is bad news bears right here. This is not going to be a thing. Fuck all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck all that.
And what happens when you take the drug away? Young children experiencing symptoms of addiction.
Just can't be a lazy parent, man.
Obviously leaving them completely dysregulated. TikTok user ThePoff1 filmed what happens when you take the show away, explaining he'll be inconsolable for at least 10 to 15 minutes after, adding in the description, Cocomelon meltdown is legit. Once you have a taste of the cocoa, it's hard to break the addiction, which this Reddit user had experienced even worse. My husband and I have been worried about our child. I can slowly see how she'd throw violent tantrums at home and in church whenever she'd get bored and would want to watch the show. Her behavior changes the moment she watches the show, and she will not even eat her meals if she wouldn't watch it. After these tantrums end, kids can experience a general discomfort in the speed of everyday life. The more they watch the show, the more their brain begins to expect this intense level of stimulation.
Yeah, it's like crack for kids.
Basically, Cocomelon overstimulates their brains so much that everything else just seems slow and boring in comparison.
However, the potential consequences get much worse than this. As mentioned at the start, it was the cause of a child's speaking problems, with a notable reply reading, same thing happened with my daughter too. She's 4 but can't speak properly. She knows the words, but she does not like to frame the sentence or speech. She has been watching these Cocomelons or such other stuffs for 2 or 3 years. Hope we're not too late. Over on Reddit, a speech-language pathologist explained, screen time in general is linked with speech delays for a variety of reasons.
See, that's why my fucking friend's son is like, he don't speak, man. It's kind of crazy. He just throws a tablet in front of his kid. See, I spend time and talk. I read books to my daughter. You know what I'm saying? I try to correct her how she speaks when she's speaking. Tell her to slow down when she's speaking. You know what I'm saying? You got to do all these things because, like, she'll just do this word salad ramble trying to tell you something when she's super excited, and you just gotta take your time and take patience and chop that shit down.
But Cocomelon is excessively bad.
One word at a time.
Firstly,
baby,
unlike
okay?
other TV
you know, you
shows
gotta do it
or
like
movies, it doesn't have a story. It's just very short clips with poorly written songs. The kids aren't able to follow the plot, learn vocabulary, and see the resolution of a conflict, supported by infant specialist Meg Fora.
And the problem with fast-paced TV programs is we find that little one's language development is slower.
On the Agents of Speech YouTube channel, this is again confirmed.
The main problem with watching videos on the internet is that they don't know how to use the language that they learn.
But he adds that 4 to 5 hours of screen time per day.
Oh yeah, that's why. Okay, so they're learning the language. I know what he's saying. Yeah, they're learning the language, the song, the words in the song, but they don't know how to use those words. And that's the problem. Yeah, no, like, my daughter speaks like a motherfucker. She knows how to use her words, you know, like, really fucking well. It actually surprises me. Like, it's fucking hilarious.
Can make a toddler completely non-verbal.
I'd be surprised like a motherfucker. Like,
hours is obviously
talk to me like that,
time,
like you
but in
grown.
Cocomelon Made My Kid a Zombie, researchers discovered that 5-year-olds who watch more than 2 hours of TV a day tended to have lower attention spans and were 7.7 times more likely to show symptoms of ADHD. These screen times might be even lower for Cocomelon specifically because, as explained by Jerica Sands, not all screen time is created equal.
Nope.
A child who just watched 30 minutes of Cocomelon and a child who just watched 30 minutes of Trash Truck will look like a very, very different child. Thankfully, here lies a simple solution. Sierra Renee explained my 2-year-old is speech delayed and addicted to Cocomelon. Switched to Miss Rachel 2 days ago, and he's already saying more words and hasn't had any tantrums. Kim.it shared an almost identical anecdote. My 8-month-old was obsessed with Cocomelon and having bad tantrums, so I cancelled Cocomelon and only let her watch Miss Rachel, and she said her first word within the first 3 days of watching. Clearly, parents are able to simply change the
like Blue's Clues, Miss Rachel, a lot of these shows with like the guy. Like, I don't like Blippi because he kind of weird. If you ever heard of Blippi, I feel like I'm even getting super watching this video. I know. If you ever watch Blippi, like, this shit's weird. But like, yeah, those are good shows.
Amount of dislikes.
I didn't know Cocomelon was crazy.
The absurdly popular kid show parents hate, and Cocomelon has actually responded to the criticism that explain our shows are not intended to replace outdoor playtime or playdates. They have a place in children's entertainment time, and as with food, exercise, etc., it comes down to each parent to find the right and appropriate balance for their children. Our responsibility is ensuring that the quality of the content that we produce is high and beneficial for the development of a child's cognitive and soft skills. It is worth adding that our social media communities are filled with stories of parents who experience firsthand how Moonbug content helps their children. Cocomelon does have a crazy amount of supporters, but it's obvious that some of them are simply ignoring the downsides. My baby learned the alphabet and numbers from Cocomelon. She may not speak a complete sentence, but she expresses her wants through phrases. But is it Cocomelon's responsibility to ensure that babies are talking? Well, no. People love blaming cartoons and games for
raising a distraction show.
Children, and not the shitty parents that don't step in to stop them from watching so much. Cocomelon is actually a really sad symbol of parents giving their children tablets instead of actually parenting and interacting with them. Ultimately, parents are the people who choose how much their child consumes.
Yep. Sunny V2's always goated. Yes, I'm gonna link that one to you guys so you can give it a like if you want to. Anyways,